Alrighty. Thanks everyone for coming to the second last TWS meeting of the year. It's good to see everyone again. So let's jump right in. Oh, I haven't even pulled up the PowerPoint yet. Here we go. All right. Well, I hope everyone's doing well and hanging in there for this the last hurrah, really. But here, a little slow today. So still not accepting dues, but then again, make sure to apply next semester. Oh, I jumped ahead. So Connor, you're up. Oh, jeepers.
So climate affects what is on a wolf's menu. Doug Smith and colleagues have been working on a 2-decade-long project tracking gray wolf activity in Yellowstone National Park. Whoops, that was a pen. When he began to notice something strange, it seemed counterintuitive to knowledge about predator-prey interactions. At the end of winter, you'd see wolves killing the biggest and the baddest male elk. They had a hunch that there was a relationship between the time of the year, climate, and the type of animals they were killing, meaning whether it was a bull, a calf, or a cow elk. He and his colleagues discovered that changes in climate from month to month and year to year can influence the wolf's predatory behavior, switching from elk to prey on. So like switching from preying on cows to switching on bulls. Under some conditions, wolves took the biggest bulls. Under others, they took females, yearlings, or calves. As mentioned before, wolves killed the biggest bulls in late winter. This was due to males typically bulking up as much as possible before fall so that they will have more success mating and beating up other bulls and chasing and holding a harem of females. The drawback is to this, though, is that they don't take a ton of time feeding and prepping for the winter. They use all of their energy and time on mating. They exhaust themselves so much that by the end of the winter, they have no gas left in the tank to fend off wolves or other predators. Weimers, another author of the study from, I think it was like University of California, Santa Cruz, said that. But contrary to that, females don't waste energy chasing each other around or chasing males or fighting each other. They spend energy and time feeding. And then this helps them get through winter and be stronger or more fit. Wolves were more likely to also prey on bulls in early winter if the growing conditions were bad in either the 2 preceding summers, leading to weaker bulls. Poor growing conditions also made calves more vulnerable to wolf attacks. Another finding was that a particular severe winter had an equalizing effect on the types of elk being consumed by wolves. The authors also noted at climate change potentially having an effect on these predator-prey dynamics as weather becomes more variable. So maybe not as many equalizing severe winters as there used to be, or too many, or just warming seasons and worse growing conditions. And if you want to read more on that, I think the study was published in like the Journal of Animal Ecology. But Quiz Bowl fun fact, did you know that the gray wolf is one of the most widespread large carnivores, being found in over 68 countries in Asia, Europe, and North America? However, some nations like Switzerland have only one pack or a critically endangered subspecies. Canada has the largest number of wolves with an estimated 60,000 individuals. Some more fun facts. Minnesota's wolf population is only second to Alaska in the United States, and Greece has more wolves than Wisconsin.
Awesome. Thanks, Connor.
Yep.
CNR SSC is still open if you guys want some advice on classes, need help with resumes or cover letters, just stop on into this link up here. It'll be in the meeting minutes too. It's also on our website and in the reporter.
You can still apply for the National TWS Conference applications. They're still due the same day they were due before. I think it's May 3rd. Sorry, Joe, you're in the way. There we go. Okay, had to move you. Yeah, they're due May 3rd. That's this Sunday. So make sure you get them in. It covers registration, and then you would have to cover most likely, well, you'd have to cover hotel and then vehicle, helping with the rental vehicles. So the conference is September 27th through October 1st. It's a great opportunity to meet professionals and students and learn about current research going on. And you just get to hang out with a bunch of cool cats and kittens and have a good time. We're not sure yet if it's truly going to go on, but still apply because you should want to go, and it's really cool.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Rachel.
Yep.
Miranda?
Hi, everyone. I think this is my last meeting minutes that I'll be doing. Very sad, but also very exciting. So please, please, please send me things that y'all have been up to for Quarantine Corner, pictures, stories. I can't get videos to work because I sent it as a PDF, but screenshots from videos are just fine. Try to get them to me Wednesday because I've been trying to give you guys a little bit of time from when I sent out the meeting so I can get everyone's stories, but try to have them to me by Wednesday, Thursday morning at the latest. I'm super excited to see them, and thank you.
Sweet. Thanks, Miranda. Nate?
Okay, cool. So Wisconsin Wildlife Federation Conservation Corps, you guys have heard about this. Super cool, but if you haven't, it's an amazing opportunity to work with like the policy side of conservation, and then as well as get some amazing leadership working with some of the professionals in the field in Wisconsin. So super cool. Could gain some cool contacts for your future career. It's just 4 half-day classes spread out across the school year next year, still going on. And you get a $250 scholarship for completing the class. So pretty cool stuff. Any questions about that? Otherwise, I sent out the email with the application. If you go to the website, there's a ton of more information there as well. So.
All right, cool. Thanks, Nate.
Hey guys, unfortunately our seniors are all graduating. So next week we are having our senior slideshow. If you guys have any good, bad, super embarrassing pictures of any of your senior friends, be sure to send them my way. There's a list up on the screen of all the seniors that I know of. If you know anyone else who is graduating, please let me know and send me their pictures my way. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. Thanks, Lizzie. Alan?
As always, you can submit your Fauna Friday photos to me if you see anything cool. Yeah. And you can add us on Snapchat, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram to stay updated on all our projects, meeting announcements, and see those cool Fauna Friday pictures. And then we have the member of the month. So April's member of the month was Dan Myers. So congrats, Dan. And he was nominated and selected for member of the month for his outstanding work on the Gray Squirrel Project. This last field season, he did a really good job at involving members and guiding his team and catching 95 squirrels during 3 weekends. So congrats to Dan.
Thanks, Brian, and congrats, Dan. Dr. Riddle out there?
Yeah, I'm here. That picture's hilarious.
Glad you like it.
All right, so I'm conflicted. I have a longer poetic thing, I could read a John Muir's or like a short passage that I've always found both beautiful and conflicting. So what do you think, Joe?
We got a pretty short meeting today, so if you want to go along,
All right.
for it.
All right. So I'm sharing this with you just because it's a good reminder that some of the pioneers in our field are, were more than just great observers about ecological processes, and they did more than, found organizations and publish papers and mentor grad students and that sort of thing. But it's a reminder that, scientists can be poets too. So this is from The Story of My Boyhood and Youth by John Muir. And this is what he wrote about his early observations of storms in Wisconsin after he came here from Scotland as a boy. So he said, we reveled in the glory of the sky scenery, as well as that of the woods and meadows with rushy, lily-bordered lakes. The great thunderstorms in particular interested us, so unlike any seen in Scotland. Exciting, awful, wonderful admiration. Gazing awe-stricken, we watched the upbuilding of the sublime cloud mountains, glowing, sun-beaten pearl and alabaster cumuli. Glorious in beauty and majesty, and looking so firm and lasting that birds, we thought, might build their nest amid their downy bosses. The black-browed storm clouds marching in awful grandeur across the landscape, trailing broad gray sheets of hail and rain like vast cataracts, and ever and anon flashing down vivid zigzag lightning followed by terrible crashing thunder. We saw several trees shattered, and one of them, a punky old oak, was set on fire, while we wondered why all the trees and everybody and everything did not share the same fate, for oftentimes the whole sky blazed. After sultry storm days, many of the nights were darkened by smooth, black, apparently structureless cloud mantles, which at short intervals were illumined with startling suddenness to a fiery glow by quick, quivering lightning flashes, revealing the landscape in almost noonday brightness to be instantly quenched in solid blackness. So that whole book, The Story of My Boyhood and Youth, is free, right? It's public domain, but full of passages like that, which I think are, a testament to how Muir was able to capture the imagination of so many folks. He had lots of knowledge about the natural world, but his ability as a poetic communicator, I think, is part of what helped him to get the attention of the public. So I don't know, maybe put your pens to paper while you're sitting around in your basement bunkers and see what you can get to flow from your fingertips other than just hypotheses and drip torches.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Riddle. Alrighty, so this week we have a super fun meeting planned. We're going to do some constitutional review. So this past week, the board has reviewed our constitution per SGA's request, and we are going to now vote on all the changes that we made. So it shouldn't take too long. There aren't too many changes, or we're hoping it won't take too long. And then next week we have our senior send-off, like Lizzie said. So next week will be all the seniors' last meetings. So if you know a senior, make sure that they come and they can talk about their slides and all the goofy pictures we got of them. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to jump over to our Constitution here. And you all should be able to see it. Yeah. So what we do is we have these little sections highlighted. And then our dreaded Zoom polls will come back out, and we'll use that for voting. And what we're going to vote on is based on the articles. So just whichever article we're in will be how we're going to do this process. So any questions about constitutional review and how we're going to kind of go about it? Alrighty, hearing none. we're going to just dive right in. So we didn't make any changes to Article 1. So that one was all the same. And then Article 2, we just added a mission statement here. So our Constitution didn't have a mission statement previously, but we decided to make one up for our chapter this time, just so we can have one kind of on paper and a more defined mission statement. So our mission statement is that our mission is to prepare students for a career in wildlife management and ecology by conducting research, attending conferences, forming partnerships, and hosting workshops for members to attend in order to learn valuable field-based and soft skills, i.e. communication, leadership, organization, etc., in a fun, welcoming, and inclusive environment. So that was the only change we made. So our objectives and implementation, we all left the same. So is there any questions or any comments that people have about the mission statement? And feel free to say them out loud or send them in the chat. Give you guys a minute here while I pull up the poll. Oh, no. All right, not hearing anything. So I actually messed up the article number. So this says Article 1, but this is actually Article 2. So you're voting on this Section 1 of Article 2. So sorry about that, everyone. But so what there will be is one question. You can say you agree with the changes or not. And then if you don't agree, just indicate what part of the changes you don't agree with. So I'm launching this out and give everyone some time to respond.
Hey, Joe, so it looks like you have to answer number 2 as well before you can
Yeah. Okay. I'm
submit
starting
it.
to pick that up now. See after responses are rolling in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you select other, we'll just assume you select other and you don't and you disagree, well then you'll just have to talk about it. But I don't see any other way of doing it. Unless you do, Sean, or any of the officers.
No, that seems to be the only way.
Yeah, sorry. Polls are always fun, so sorry everyone, but and looks like we have another one. Yeah, so again, if you're not, kind of like with elections, if you can't vote or not seeing the poll, send them to me directly. But all right, so I think this one passes. So woohoo. Thanks everyone for voting on that one. And then, so that one passes. Let me just end the polling. Awesome. Thank you everyone for voting on that. So then this next section, Article 3, this one's going to be a little bit of a doozy because there's a lot going on in here. So the first change that we made was to this voting member position. So we changed it to include the fact that co-leaders have to pay dues. So now it's required in the Constitution, which isn't really a change necessarily because in order to go out on projects and henceforth be a co-leader, you had to pay your dues anyways. So it's not a huge change. We're just kind of outlining it a little more clearly. Then this next section, Section 2, we added a spot for graduate students to get involved with our chapter. So this is a graduate student member. They have a lot of the same abilities as a general member, except that they can't apply for sponsorships to go to conferences or become officers. So those were the only two stipulations that we had. And like we say here, just to preserve opportunities for undergraduate students. we made those provisions. But we have had some grad students really want to get involved, so we just thought this would be a good way to get them involved here. So is there any questions or comments about these two changes? Co-leaders requiring them to pay dues more deliberately and the grad student role. All right, hearing none. So then in this one, we added that little section for project faculty advisors. So this section here just says that you need to have a faculty advisor on your research project, and it can be any CNR faculty or biology. Yeah, so just a little info there. And then Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about the dues increase?
Yeah, I can. So dues, we propose as a board to increase them from 8 to 10 for the year, or from 5 to 6 for the semester. This will just help run other things with our SGA money decreasing and prices for other things going up. This will help with those costs and allow us to function better and more regularly as a society, as well as save money for years in case something bad happens with SGA funds and we don't have enough to function. Just on theirs, we'll have a safety net as well.
Awesome, thank you, Sean. So yeah, so we decided to increase the dues amounts from $5 a semester to $6, and then your discount for paying all at once would be $10 instead of $8. So you save a couple bucks both ways. But so we made that change here. And then, oh, any questions on dues or project faculty advisors?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah,
With
totally.
the biology faculty member that just runs through letters and sciences, right?
Yeah, technically biology is in the College of Letters and Science, but we would like to have specifically biology. So because the College of Letters and Science is kind of more broad, and you can have psychology professors and stuff in that college. So that's why we kind of decided to specify.
Okay.
No, good question though. Any others?
I'm changing my
Sorry, what was that? All right, must have just been an accidental unmute. All right, so hearing on that, so here in this section, we just changed that resignation of an officer has to come to the president or the advisor. And there was also a line here about students resigning, so like student members, and we took that out because you don't have to formally tell us you're resigning. You just kind of stop coming or kind of do your own thing. So you don't have to have a formal process if you don't want to be a member anymore here, if you're a student member, but if you are an officer. So that's kind of the change we made in that section. And then here we added a section. So we added a section about project creation, project continuation, and project removal. So this is not anything really new. So this is the same process that we did for the muscle project earlier this year. And if you were here last year for the bear project. So the only thing we changed here is that we want 2 or more members to prepare, so that this one wasn't necessarily true for the muscle project, but we think we're going to add it just so it has a backbone to the project. So 2 or more members must prepare a written proposal and lay out methods, study area, budget acquisition plans, objectives, and a dedicated faculty advisor. The executive board will then vote on the proposal, and if approved, ask the members to give a presentation to the executive board. Once the proposal is accepted and the presentation is approved by the executive board by a vote 50% to 1, then the members will give the presentation to the general membership. Once approved by the membership through a majority vote, 50+1, the project may begin conducting research as a part of the society. Budget allocation from the chapter will not apply though until the following fiscal year. So that's our process for project creation. And then for project continuation, previous co-leaders are responsible for passing on the project, and co-leaders are also responsible for applying for funding each year. So that one kind of plays into our project removal. If all co-leaders from a singular project leave the society or university and do not find replacements, the project will be opened up to general membership to be commandeered by 2 or more members. If no members volunteer to take on the project and do not apply for funding, the following year, the executive board will no longer view it as a part of the chapter. So that's kind of the changes that we made to this one. So any questions on resignations or project creation, continuation / removal? All right, I'll maybe give everyone a little more time to read it too. Realize I'm sliding up and down. Alrighty. So just kind of a recap here. So in this article, and obviously if I messed up the first one, I'm going to mess up all of these article numbers. So this one says Article 2, but we're talking about Article 3 here. So we're going to be voting on the change to co-leaders having to pay, more deliberately having to pay dues, the addition of graduate students, and faculty advisors. These were always a thing, they just were missing from our constitution beforehand, so we just added them. The dues increase, and then our project creation section and resignation. So does anyone have any questions out right now, thinking in their head? All right, so I'm gonna launch this poll, and then, yeah, if you vote yes, just click other in the second question. All right, so it looks like everyone has voted. So one person said no, but for requiring, or didn't say no, but clicked requiring co-leaders to pay dues. So I'm gonna just assume that wasn't an opposition, just click to get out of the survey. So other than that though, we do have that one article does pass. So thanks again everyone for voting. And so that one is all good to go. Oh, I should stop polling. Perfect. Sweet. Thanks, everyone. And then now we go down to Article 4. So this one, we just added a quorum section to it. So there used to not be a quorum for our elections, so you could hold it no matter how many people we had there. So we just added a little phrase in here that gave the officer board a little flexibility to decide how many people is too little to hold a meeting. And that's also kind of in lieu to like this meeting or last week when we didn't know how many people would come because we're all virtual and all in kind of a crazy situation. So that's kind of one thing that we changed here, just to kind of be more accommodating. And then we also added the option that if we can never reach quorum, then ballots can be collected like online. So it's just another option to try to adapt our constitution to be more accurate to our actual situation that we're in. So that was our change there. And then here, we didn't really change much about the duties of officers or much of anything else. We just really changed a lot of these positions used to say chairperson behind it. But we took away the chairperson and then just called them what they are called today. So that one was just kind of like some of the other changes, just to make it more accurate to what we do. And we didn't really add much to any of the positions other than the president is responsible for organizing general member meetings. Vice president is responsible for apparel. And then secretary is responsible for thank you notes. So other than that, we didn't really change much about the position titles, and those changes that we made were already being done by those positions, so it's not anything new. Like I said, just kind of tailoring to what we already do. So any questions on those two changes that we made? So just changing the titles of officer positions to be kind of like what we are now, and then making there having to be a quorum here in order to have an election. Alrighty, hearing none. So this says Article 3, but no, that's Article 4. And like I said, though, the only changes here were the quorum and some of the position titles. So launching this one for y'all. And then again, click Other if you vote yes. All right, 1 second. Sorry, waiting for a couple more to come in. All right, so we had someone oppose this one. So it still passed. So we still had majority vote to pass this article here and some of the changes. But just out of fairness to this person, if you would like, they said they had an issue with the quorum section. So is there, would that person like to speak their mind, or if you're still just okay with it as well?
You can chat Joe as well if you don't want to speak up. You can chat Joe privately and he can read it to the rest of the members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call. All right, so the one comment was one that we actually debated about yesterday when we were going over it. So the person who opposed it was saying that there should be a set number. And the reason we didn't put a set number was because the fact that we don't know where the chapter is going. So if we say like 40 people, that could either be the entire membership or like a quarter of the membership like it is now. So we were a little worried about just kind of making sure that there's flexibility in the Constitution so that the officer board isn't constricted because of a number that we set. So that was our main reasoning behind it for that one. So if you want, you can send me a follow-up response that I can read too. Or if that still doesn't suffice for you, just let me know here. Give you a couple more minutes. But yeah, that was our general reasoning because that's what we originally had, but we decided to change it just for the flexibility's sake of if the chapter doesn't unfortunately flops and kind of goes down. But also, if you don't have a follow-up, just send that in the chat too. Awesome. All right. So the person just responded that they understand our reasoning on that one. So next up, we're going to move on down to here. So this next section. So Article 5, we didn't make any changes to, and that's a pretty short one. Article 6, didn't make any changes here either. And then here in Article 7, we made one change here that at regular meetings, it used to be that we would have to provide written copies of our bylaws at every meeting. And then, so we would provide written copies of our bylaws at every meeting, but we weren't really doing that. But our bylaws are available on our website. So our Constitution and bylaws are available there. So we decided to change this to be a little more accommodating to that, to what we actually do now, and that our bylaws are there. And you can always review them at any time and come and talk to any one of the officers about it. So that's kind of our decision here and why we just shortened this section up. So is there any questions about that? I believe that's the only change in this section. Yeah, so it looks like I got this one right somehow though. So this will actually say Article 7 on the thing. So give you guys a couple minutes to think of a question, or if you have any, don't hesitate to ask in the chat either. All right, so I'm gonna launch this poll here, and then like I said, just hit other if you vote it down or something. Alrighty, I think I've got almost everyone. Give them a couple more minutes to think about it. All right, I think everyone's in. So this one passes as well. So we got that one done. So thank you everyone for voting on that. So that article passes. And then I believe this is the last article that we have. So we didn't make any changes to Article 8. And we didn't make any changes so yeah, a lot of this stuff is kind of more of the national chapter stuff, not necessarily stuff that we deal with a ton. And then these are just kind of like a catch-all bin at the end here. So that's it. So that was our Constitution ratification. So thank you everyone for participating in it. I really appreciate your guys' input, and I'm glad. I hope it wasn't too boring for you, but it is what it is. It's once every 3 years we have to do this. So is there any questions overall about any of the changes that we made that you would like to bring up or bring the officer's attention? So I had one from a member that said for the quorum, why we didn't do a percentage on this one. And our reasoning for no percentage was that a lot of times we have members who only come for a certain number of meetings and they don't necessarily stick around for the entire year. So it's hard to predict like how many members we're going to get at a given meeting. So we think that if we set a percentage based on like active members, it's a little hard to calculate like what constitutes an active member versus a non-active member. So that's kind of why we decided to leave it up to the board and kind of keep it more of a free form document on that one. So yeah, but that's a really good question. And this one actually was a lot of topic of debate yesterday while we were doing it. So is there any other questions? Alrighty, well, I'm not hearing any. If you have any concerns or anything, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. You can find it in the meeting minutes. But yeah, definitely shoot me an email if you have a concern about something or something like that. But otherwise than that, that's the end of our meeting. So thank you all for participating. It was really good to see you again. And I'm a little bummed that my last meeting was such a boring one with Constitution review, but it is what it is. So someone's got to do it. But it's been a pleasure serving you guys as president. I'll see you all next week. And I know all the officer board worked really hard on this, so make sure to thank them for all their dedication and time in changing this Constitution. So for the better. But you all have a great week, and good luck on finals. Oh. Bye, Connor. Oh, bye, Tyler.
Bye, Joe. Are we gonna wait till the very last, like last time?
I always like to, because it's kind of like it's like shutting the lights off in TNR 170. It's just something.
It's like waiting there with our backpack with like the guest speaker.
Yeah, just running back to my house to grab my keys, get to the car.
Hey, Sean, can you bring this stuff upstairs with you?
Oh, man.
Thanks,
So many
guys.
memories. So many memories. See you, Tyler. Backwards hat, Tyler.
Backwards hat, Tyler. Cheetah print, Tommy.
Cheetah print, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
I'll see you later, man.
Joe, do you want to just send me the recording?
Yeah, I did it on the cloud, so I can just get an email and I'll send it to you.
Okay, sounds good. See you
All right.
guys later.
Rylan. Well, this is it.
This is it.
This is we're all done.
Good job.
Thanks. I even missed my joke, Connor. I missed my one joke I had for this meeting. I was going to put my background as this.
Say it now. Say it now for the recording, so people can. It's like the end of a Marvel movie. This is like the end of a Marvel movie. If they wait till the very end, they can hear something funny.
Welcome to the TWS Constitution, everyone. Good night. See you, Connor.
That was amazing. See ya.